The Colorado Avalanche win streak comes to an end, but because this thing goes to the coin flip, they get a point out of it, which is always a good thing, in what was just a downright fun hockey game. So let's talk about this on a new episode of Locked On Avalanche coming at you.
You're Locked On Avalanche, your daily podcast on the Colorado Avalanche. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
All right, everybody, welcome to another episode of Locked On Avalanche, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I'm your host, Chris Micieli. Joining me, as always, Mr. Zach Pearson. Thank you for tuning in, making this your first listen of the day, and for making the Locked On Podcast Network the number one sports podcast network in the country. Always appreciated. And if you want to get in on our conversations, join our subtext. Link is in the show notes below. You chat with us one-on-one. We get your opinion, everything Avalanche related, and share it on this very podcast. We got some people chiming in on this 3-2 shootout loss from the Avalanche to the Minnesota Wild, who keep their win streak going. But like I said in the opening, man, there's some games that you just, at some point, you just settle into your couch or your recliner and just be like, I'm just going to enjoy what's going to be a good hockey game. And that's exactly what this was. This was a fun game.
From first puck drop, this was a fun game. Like, just immediately, you could see the speed, you could see the talent from both teams going back and forth. This was just fun. Just pure fun from start to finish. And
I think it comes down to the goalies in this one. You know, you had two goalies which have been hot. Obviously with Scott Wedgewood, how he's been playing. Wallstedt on the Minnesota side, he's been playing fantastic. And look, you got 41 shots on net. And if you get 41 shots on net against, I don't want to say any other goalie in the league, because there's some really good goalies in this league, but against a guy who's not just rolling, maybe you put up more than 2 goals. Yeah. The same can be said on the flip side for Minnesota. Minnesota got 37.
Yep.
And they only put up 2 on Scott Wedgewood. So like this, to me, this was a game of goalies. You saw the skill from all, the other players. Your top players in this game played like top players.
Yeah.
With MacKinnon, Kaprizov, obviously with the 2 goals. So it's just who's going to get the best of it. And this goes. I mean, you saw so many comments online after this is over, more from the Avalanche side of it's just unfair to end games like this. We got to come up with a new method to end games like this. What do you feel? I mean, I like a game like this is not going to change the mindset of the powers that be, especially when we have a new collective bargaining agreement, so it's not going anywhere for a while. But do you feel like when a game like this is played, there needs to be but you wish it was determined a different way?
I do. But the thing is, I legitimately do not have an answer for this. You don't want to go back to 5-on-5 overtime in the regular season. I get that, and I understand why they don't. You don't want to extend overtime. I get that, and I understand why they don't. I guess you go back to a tie, but that seems like that would be even more of a letdown.
Yeah.
Like, if they went to a tie over the shootout, I would be even more disappointed. So I really don't have a good solution, but I do completely agree. It feels so anticlimactic to have the game end on essentially a skills competition.
It is.
But you know what? All we can do is enjoy the 65 minutes that happened before the skills competition. And my goodness.
Yeah. The only thing I can, because I agree with you, I don't think you should extend the overtime. Like, these guys just went, out, 100% for 60 minutes.
Yeah.
Asking them to do it for another 10 at 3-on-3 is just way too much.
Yeah.
What if you do it at 4-on-4? I mean, that's still a little bit more open ice. What's that?
I've thought that too. Change the OT to 4-on-4. But then still, if they don't score, what do you do after that? You run into the same problem after 5 minutes. And so
I just don't think there's a solution.
I don't think there is. I really do. I'm not a fan of it. I don't really care for the shootout that much, and I don't put that much stock into it. I don't really think there's a better option right now on what you can do to fix it. So
yeah, I don't
have.
think that's all. I mean, I think the two things that I would say you could do is, like I said, like go 4-on-4, but you'd have to add a couple minutes. I think if you went 4-on-4, you do 6 or 7 minutes, or you could just do 6 or 7 minutes at 3-on-3. Would that extra couple minutes find a finality to these games, and would less games go to a shootout? You won't know until you try.
Yeah.
But I mean, adding those couple minutes, like you said, like you're putting extra exhaustion on guys that have already just gone out max capacity for 60 minutes. So it's just, I don't, like you said, I don't think there is a answer to solve this.
Not right now.
And I think what we have might be the best option, because nobody wants ties.
No,
you can't go longer. So while it's while it's not the most ideal option everybody wants, it's probably the best one that we have. You got to come to an end with these games somehow, some way. And this is the way it is for the Avs. Yeah, you're always on the downside of it, but you still have that one single loss in the loss column for regulation time. So that's still solid. You get the point. Okay. This win streak that Minnesota's on haven't really gained much ground on you, because you've been winning games at the same clip that they have.
Yep.
So while it's a loss, you don't, like I said before, I like the 3-on-3. I don't want that to go anywhere. I do like that. But once that is over, my mind turns off to, okay, they either won or lost this game. If you win it, fine. If you lose it, I'm not sitting here feeling like the Avs lost in the capacity of they lost it in when it mattered.
Yeah.
Well, you know what I mean? Like it's a
100%.
weird dynamic, but it's what we got.
I still would say you can't carry the puck back across the center line in 3-on-3, because I'm so tired of that.
Yep,
I just
could do something like that.
Force the issue, make them a little more aggressive. I can't stand, and I've said it before, I can't stand this whole maintain possession more than shoot. But that's a whole other.
Yeah, you could add that. That's another little angle maybe you could add. But I mean, overall, honestly, go ahead.
65 minutes of this game, the overtime being kind of what it is. So really 60 minutes of this game was just ridiculously good to watch.
Oh, so fun.
So even if we can't figure out the solution on how to make it better, because you don't want a 60 minutes of that entertainment to end the way that it did. But my goodness, both goaltenders, the 2 goals that each one let in, I don't put that on either goaltender. I don't put those fully on Wedgewood. One's off of a skate, good deflection, good positioning. The other one is a fantastic Kaprizov shot off of a no-look pass that I think was more of a prayer than an intentional pass, but it went right onto Kaprizov's tape. And it's like, all right, if you're going to leave an all-world shooter right there. And Burns was in decent position, but couldn't deflect it or anything. Great shot. And then for the Avs 2 goals, the puck, the Minnesota, for whatever reason, tried to throw it across the center of the ice, and it just is MacKinnon's right there, like, well, if you're gonna give it to me.
When I saw that one, like at first I thought it was MacKinnon, who threw that pass, because why would you do that as a Minnesota player? Right. And then they keep showing different angles, and when they finally showed one that wasn't where the half board wasn't blocking the play on the other end of the ice, I was like, wow, why would what are you thinking? You never throw that pass ever.
Such a strange decision.
And when you have a guy like Nathan MacKinnon waiting to receive that, he kind of buries it. That was that was a question. And isn't it just odd how the first goal that Kaprizov got and for the Wild is that just goes off his skate.
Yeah.
And you're like, for that, it's almost like that needed to be the type of goal to end this shutout streak. It's almost like I would rather something like that than like just a puck that beats Wedgewood or Blackwood. You know what I mean? It just feels
especially if it's like a bunny shot, like a real easy whatever. Like this is the type of shot that face 1,000 of them and he stops 999, and this is the one that squeaks by. I'm so glad it wasn't a shot like that to end the shutout streak. Right. I agree. Like the deflection, and again, credit to Kaprizov. He's driving the net. He's got himself in the right position. That was a good play. I don't hold that against Wedgewood. I think that was a good. I feel dirty complimenting the Minnesota Wild. Like, it gives me, as the children say, the ick. But they did well, they're playing really well. So this was just, I can't not compliment both teams because my goodness, it was so great. And I know we've got this bullet point. So before we get to the second segment, Gabe Landeskog, oh my goodness.
Yeah. It was a play that kind of just, I don't want to say you like expect from him, but he's done stuff like this a lot where his effort level just rises to these occasions. And it was a phenomenal goal. So let's get our break in here. We come back. There's more we got to talk about. And of course, we'll talk about the Avs at it. No rest for the wicked here. They got to get back on another streak right away. So we will talk about that. Get our sound checks in. A lot more to cover on this game. We'll do that next. We're going to hear from Monarch Money because, let's be honest, most of us can't even name all of our financial accounts, let alone what they're worth in between 401ks, savings, and investments. It's easy to lose track, and that can mean leaving money on the table, and that's why you have to start using Monarch. It's an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean, easy-to-use interface on your laptop or on your phone. And why would you not want to go down this road with the holidays coming around? Or maybe if you want to make a New Year's resolution to start monitoring your finances better.
Perfect.
Do it now. So you cannot let financial opportunities slip through the cracks. Use the promo code LOCKEDONNHL at monarch.com and you get 50% off of your entire first year. That is monarch.com. The code is LOCKEDONNHL, and get started on a new year with some financial stability over at monarch.com. All right. So before we get to this Landeskog goal in overtime, did I miss and did I not see Martin Necas out there at all in overtime?
Not at all.
I didn't see, right? I wasn't seeing things.
Nope. He did not have a second in the OT, which is interesting. But then he was the first shooter.
He was the first shooter
in the
shootout shot too, by the way.
Oh my god. Okay, gorgeous. The first two that beat both of them. Did it not feel like both of the first two shots from Minnesota and Necas' shot were almost in like slow motion? Like the goaltenders both hit, and then it just felt like it was this slow-mo, easy tap in, beautiful move by Necas and beautiful move by I can't think of the shot.
Zuccarello was the first one. The Necas one was close because you have to keep going.
I know. I thought he went backwards for a second,
but whatever. That was a great one. The Zuccarello one, I've been watching him for a very long time, and I don't see every single shootout that the Wild do, but I've watched him for a long time. He does that move. I don't want to say every single time because, like I said, I don't watch every single Minnesota shootout. But every time I see him do a shootout, he does that move.
So what you're saying,
calling it from a mile away,
is Bednar needs to call you and say, "Are you watching this?" In which case, then he knows don't bite on the first move.
He always goes back to the right-hand side and goes that way. Everyone I've watched, he's done it.
Get a signal. Have Bednar do this over to Wedgewood or Blackwood if he's playing. Just do this to say, Chris is on the phone. He's watching. He's watching.
Happening. I mean, use me as your lifeline. Call me up. If he's out there, he's going to do it, and it's against the Avalanche. He's going to do it. I want to go back now and watch because they've had some shootout. Like during the streak, they've had a few shootouts here. I want to go back and watch those to see if he's actually done that because it's I've seen it too many times for it to be a coincidence. Fair. That is his move. It works. So what? Go do it. But I feel like I've seen that so many times specifically from him.
Fair.
There you go.
And it does seem to work.
Yep. All right. So yeah, Gabe Landeskog, like I said, I have the bullet point up there, seems to be finding his game. And over the past handful of games, it does. It seems like he is settling into just being more confident in his game. He's never he's not the fastest guy out there, but he's always been that right place, right time, knows what to do and when to do it type of guy.
Yeah.
And if you want to start with that goal, please, because that was just a captain goal and a galvanizing goal. How it doesn't matter if you're top line Nathan MacKinnon or fourth line of Zakhar Bardakov. How did that not just give you goosebumps and then want to get out there and just go through a wall for what that guy did to get that goal? That was fantastic.
Watching that, I wanted to run through a wall. And I'm just sitting on the couch watching the hockey game, and I want to run through a wall watching that. He took a stick, it looked like, to the teeth, like goes down, takes the stick, gets right back up almost instantly, like obviously grabs his face for a minute because there's no way that feels good. Gets back up and then parks himself right back in front of the net, like goes right back into the greasy goal area, and then roofs it top shelf from up close.
And with a guy on him, like the first shot was blocked.
Yeah.
And then he's still fighting for it. And yeah, how you got levitation on that puck with a guy on you was incredible. And those are the goals, like we were talking about in the first segment, like those are the goals that were going in. Yeah. Like just these hard working, for the MacKinnon one, kind of a bad error on a Minnesota play, but still up close that you have to like muscle it past him. Like those were the goals that were happening. You were not getting like goals on the fly coming up the wing and then just going, cross goal, beating them over like gloves. Those were not happening in this game. And for that specific Landeskog, first of all, the way he went into the boards and he was like, down, face down. You don't see the stick hit him in the face when it's at full speed. It wasn't until later that I noticed that. I thought he like hurt his back or something.
I was afraid of that too.
Yeah. Or anytime he's showing pain, you're like, oh God, is the knee. So, and then you find out later it was the, stick to the face, to which my wife was like, please don't ruin that face, because she wouldn't be able to watch any more Avalanche games. But, to get up, fight for the puck and score the goal the way he did is one of the best Avalanche goals of the year so far.
It is. And that whole sequence right there, him going down hard into the boards, holding his face, taking the stick up high, getting back up, getting back into position as the Avs reset, get it back into the area where he can shoot. All of those things are the perfect embodiment of why he has the C on his chest. Mm-hmm. Because he is absolutely the guy to lead this team. And this is the type of situation, you don't come out with the win here. Your win streak ends at 10, which still a great win streak. Your point streak still jumps up to 15. And you can't tell me that this is not a huge part in thanks to Gabe Landeskog's presence on the ice. The guy is such an integral part of this team. And as he keeps playing better, as he keeps doing better, the entire team will continue to do so. He will raise that tide. It's awesome to watch him doing this.
Led the team in shots on goal. He had 6.
Nice.
6 shots on goal. Normally you always go right to like Nathan MacKinnon. I mean, he had 4, but 6 shots on goal for Landeskog, 21 minutes and 11 seconds of ice time. He was up there with that top line on occasion. Like, you can feel like the I don't want to say like the trust has never gone away from Bednar into Landeskog. It's just he needed a little bit more extra time than the other guys to get into league mode. Yeah. And now we're here end of November and feels like he's there. So that trust is like I said, he didn't lose trust in him. It's just the confidence, and I can put him in any situation now. He's on the power play 1.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like he's back there. So it is back to business as usual on how you're throwing out Gabe Landeskog, and he's responding to it. Yeah. So it only makes this team better. And it's just fun. It's exciting to see him back out there after 3 years of not having it. So really because you didn't know if what the long term was going to be. We still have a long way to go for that long term, but where it's headed right now, you have to be happy.
Gotta be. Everything about it is just so. He's such a core piece,
Mm-hmm.
such a keystone guy, a cornerstone, heart of the team, like any and all of these things, all of these cliches, adjectives, whatever, they all work perfectly for what Gabe Landeskog is. So it's so cool to see him getting back into it the way he has.
Anybody else jump out to you that had a pretty good game? I'm just looking at the hockey stat cards. According to them, MacKinnon had the best game for the Avs, and best game for both teams. I was wondering where Kaprizov was, but it seemed like he struggled defensively. So the gamer score for Nathan MacKinnon is a 3.24, which is very good. Cale Makar with a 2.81, which is good. Lehkonen is up there with a 1.98. And then it kind of goes kind of middle of the road for most guys. According to hockey stat cards, the worst game was had by Olofsson on the Avs at a negative 2.96.
Which is intense.
Yeah. But was that like noticeable? I didn't feel like he played. I don't know. I don't know.
I know that they pull a lot of advanced stats in here. Parker Kelly was a minus 1.2. But I thought he actually had a pretty decent game. It felt like he had his motor going through the whole game. He was doing a lot of things to drive the play in the proper direction. I felt like, at least watching. So obviously stats wise don't necessarily fully agree with the eye test here, but I thought he looked better out there than clearly the underlying numbers show.
Did you feel like it wasn't as physical of a game between two like division rivals? And I don't mean like, there's hits going on and stuff like that, but like after the play is over, shenanigans. You got the one like towards the end there.
Yeah.
After Wedgewood.
Which Parker Kelly was involved in.
And he was involved in that. Yep. But I thought overall, I think both teams were like, put all that aside. We're still going to be aggressive, still going to be physical while the puck is in play, but we're not going to take stupid penalties in this game.
Nope.
And you had two total, one for each team.
Yep.
And that was it. So I think both teams were purposely on their best behavior because they both have win streaks that they want to continue, and they don't want to be the guy to put up a dumb penalty that could potentially be a game winner on a power play.
Right.
So did you think that? When you're watching, did you feel like they're just kind of like behaving more than usual, if you ask me?
I can definitely see where you're coming from on that. My thought and the note I ended up taking down was, instead of being the physical kind of play, it really felt like both teams wanted to go and showcase skill and speed over physicality.
Mm-hmm.
And that's more what I felt like I saw through most of this game. Neither team was trying to muck it up too much. Neither team was trying to be too much of a physical style game. It really just felt like fast and go, go, go through the whole thing. Also seemed to be reflected in the whistles, because I swear there were like no stoppages through this game. It was just go, go, go the whole time.
Yeah. And I'm okay with that as long as that lasts the entire game. I hate when refs put the whistles away and they're like, you guys duke it out. Just don't do anything egregious that we have to call.
Yeah.
And then they call some ticky-tack penalty with like 4 minutes left to give it to, and that didn't happen. That didn't happen. So no, the refs just let these guys go. And like you said, like the skill was on display
whole time
on both ends. So it was just a fun game. It's a fun game. And you got to give the Wild credit. They seem to have found their game. Because I had some concern, like the way that they started wasn't like the best. And this latest streak, like they're finding ways to win too. Like they haven't just been, winning all these things in regulation. They're winning in overtime. They've got a couple shootouts, which they are what they are. But, how we were saying with the Avs, like they're all these ways that they're winning, you want them to win in different ways while they're doing it too. So they're getting great goaltending. They're putting up some goals. And, they're getting points too. While they've only gained 1 point on the Avalanche, they've ascended the division anyway to be in third place overall in the division. So they're right on the heels of the Stars. So
I'll say they're creeping up on Dallas too.
Yeah. Who is playing right now against the Mammoth, who have a 2-0 lead on them in the first.
Oh, goodness.
Over Dallas. Dallas is on a power play right now as we're speaking. So,
see how that goes.
Yeah. All right. Let's get our final break in here. And Avs back at it on Saturday. So we'll just mention that quickly and then get to some subtext people and our sound checks. We'll do that next. FanDuel and the NBA is back. There's no better place to get in on the action than, of course, FanDuel. It's the official sports betting partner of the NBA. So even if you miss the start of a game or want to ride the hot hand, FanDuel has live bets on everything from who will score next to fourth quarter comebacks. Plus, you can even combine your live bets into a same game parlay for a shot at a bigger payout, which keeps everything exciting, especially when your team is making the late push, much like those Denver Nuggets that I don't really watch all that much, but Zach does.
Yeah, and they will be playing the Spurs tonight. And so
how are the Spurs doing lately?
That is
when I was a kid,
question.
The Spurs were like every year's model of consistency, but my lack of NBA watching, I don't know where they are anymore.
I don't know either. I'm just looking at what FanDuel's got right now on their odds. And so Denver is a 7.5 point favorite tonight over the Spurs in Denver. And we know how Denver teams are when they're playing at home right now. So this seems like one of those ones where the Nuggets might be your choice for the evening.
Spurs are in 5th place overall in the West. They're 12-5.
Not bad. Not bad.
So
Nuggets should win.
Okay. I'll take your word for it. And if you want to take Zach's word for it, you put $5 down. If that wins, you win $300 in bonus bets if you're a new customer. So head over to FanDuel.com, sign up, and play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. So Avs turn around and play another game in a back-to-back. And for the second time, puck drop is less than 24 hours.
Crazy.
From the day before. This time by a half hour. So this one was but still less than 24 hours.
The last one the last one was on the road. So there was travel in between as well. And so this time they have to come back home and play in less than 24 hours from the puck drop of the first day. I don't get it. I do not understand.
But we can't complain too much because Montreal played on Friday as well. They played in Vegas and they won 4-1. So they've after a kind of a little bit of a losing streak for them, they have now won 3 in a row. They've beaten Toronto, they beat the Mammoth in Utah, and then they just beat Vegas in Vegas. So
and now they come into Colorado, but we'll see how this goes.
If you don't really watch teams outside of Colorado Avalanche hockey, or you just watch more Western Conference teams and Eastern Conference teams, I totally understand that. This is going to be a track meet. Yeah. You think that Minnesota was able to keep up with the Avalanche? The Canadiens will have no problem keeping up with the Avalanche. They are a fast team. They are a fun team.
Yeah.
This is going to be exciting. And on top of everything else, the Avalanche are wearing their Nordiques uniforms because this was a big rivalry back in the day. Well, it was a big rivalry back in the day. Yeah.
Val could be back tomorrow. So you might get Nichushkin back in the lineup as well, which would be a huge injection.
Huge.
So,
and it's so funny you mentioned him because remember when he went out? And my concern, I think everybody's concern, was that record that you always heard about with and without him. Look what they did without him. That's not getting enough credit or enough publicity, but they went on a run without Val Nichushkin, which does not seem to be something that they've been able to do in recent memory. So if they get him back, obviously that's a plus. He's such a big part of what they do.
He is.
But I'm looking forward to this game. They're the 2 games that they play against Montreal this year because they're a fun, exciting team.
Yep.
And just get your tennis goggles on because this one's going to be going like back and forth like a tennis match. It's going to be fun. A lot of fun.
Really stoked to throw on the Nordiques throwback jersey again. I'm just a little sad that my guy's Logan O'Connor is still not ready to be back. So I can't wait to see him return to the lineup too. But tomorrow's going to be a fun game. It's going to be a fun game.
That's the jersey we own of these Nordique shirts. There it is right there. You have it and I have it. We have Logan O'Connor Nordique jerseys, and we've worn them more than he has.
I know. Poor LOC. Poor LOC.
So, all right. Couple comments from subtext, and we'll get our sound check in. So, Christina says, not even really mad about this loss. Would I have loved to win? Obviously, but we still only have one regulation loss, and we are the first team to 40 points.
Yep.
Correct on that. Loved the Landy goal and Nate's reaction to it. By the way, like you could hear Landeskog's like battle cry after he scored that goal.
Yeah.
Like it was picked up from the microphones. Like he let out just a yell that just was just like this. I don't know if it was relief. I don't know if it was just being fired up. Maybe it was a combination of everything, but man, that was loud. I think he's a little bit hoarse after that yell. She goes on, some bad lapses in the second, but made Minnesota work for that win. Now we just need to get better in overtime and shootouts, but I guess it won't matter come playoffs.
Yeah.
Yep. Adam says, in the words of Connor McGahey, shootouts are dumb. And I cannot agree more. I just like he calls them dumb. I call them a coin flip. So combine the two, and they're just a dumb coin flip. And finally got Madam Battle Axe says, well, I called it. I knew this one would go into overtime, but even though they had to go to the shootout, they did amazing. And hey, we got the point.
Yep.
I don't know. You can be mad at this one. Like
no.
It was just a good, hard fought game by two teams. Like going to overtime, get a point.
Yeah.
Okay. Move on to Saturday.
Exactly. There's you can't be angry at this one. There's no reason to be. I'm always a little salty losing to Minnesota. It just is what it is. 100% of the time, I'm going to be a little salty losing to them. But, this was such a good game.
It was good back and forth. You had teams taking control at moments, teams taking control back at moments. Good offensive possessions for the Avalanche where they were wearing down Minnesota. Yeah. Good offensive possessions for Minnesota where they were wearing down. It was just like back and forth and back and forth. And when you thought you had control of the game, something would happen where the other team would take control back.
Yep.
So fun hockey game. So
absolutely.
All right. Let's get to our sound check. And this is where we each pick one song that summarizes the most recent game. And these songs go up on a playlist over on Spotify and on YouTube Music. All you got to do is search LOA Soundcheck. Volume number 5 is where you can find these ones. So what do you got for this one, sir?
So I said that I am always a little salty losing to Minnesota. I think Nathan MacKinnon had himself an excellent game, and I imagine that he's probably also a little salty with this loss and the win streak coming to an end. So I'm going with Flogging Molly and their song Salty Dog.
I love it. Why not?
Yep. Got to imagine he's a little salty after this one. And I can't wait. I really hope it brings out Angry Nate for tomorrow because, that's just that'll be fun.
I mean, Angry Nate is there all the time.
Yeah.
But when you get that little bit extra reason for him to be angry, it's one of those things where it's like you feel bad for whatever the next team is, in this case Montreal, because if he is that little bit you wouldn't like him when he's angry, you feel bad for them because he's going to take it out on them. So, we'll see. Which is kind of where I went with mine. Like we were just talking about, like can't be mad at this game.
Yeah,
fun game, back and forth. You play that game over again, maybe goes the other way. Like it just while the shootout is a coin flip, the entire game really could have been a coin flip on who wins that if you keep playing it over and over again. So that's why I'm not getting too down on this one. I'm already looking forward to tomorrow. And that's why I'm going with Zebrahead, one of my favorite bands back in the day.
Okay.
And the song is Hello Tomorrow.
All right.
Because we're looking forward to it already. So
love it.
Start a new streak. At least keep the point streak going. But everything should get back to normal for wins and 2 points on Saturday.
Let's do it.
All right. We will be back on Monday to talk about that game. So make sure you are tuned into that. And if anything else is going on in the Avalanche world, we'll be talking about it on Monday. But thank you for tuning into this one and making it your first listen of the day. That is always appreciated. He's Mr. Zach Pearson. I am Chris Micieli. This is the Locked On Avalanche podcast. We'll see you guys on Monday, where you may have made it through 48 hours at that point, where you're that much closer to Sidney Crosby being with the Colorado Avalanche.